quick little video here showing the creation of this dragon skin shield. I've got the recipe on the left side of the screen here. All that I did since the last video was to buy some of the basic materials from the shops. But I like this recipe because it's very simple, easy to do it pretty early into the game. The only really hard thing is the dragon skin, but you can get that by farming the sky dragon on the snow fields using a polter box, and it'll drop dragon skins at like a 12.5% worst case scenario. And it doesn't matter what level the dragon is. And the nice thing about this is you can easily get plus 20 to all stats, and also the stare immunity. And then you can actually carry this shield on into an end game setup as well. So this is kind of the first piece that you can get that you'll be potentially using for the rest of the game. The recipe is also very simple, and it's kind of a nice illustrative example of how armor tempering works. So first we're just going to add a sun crystal, and all that this does is increase the wisp element by 1 point, which we'll need later. Then we're going to add big seed. You can actually use any seed as long as it's not a spiny seed, so you could use any of the common seeds. It doesn't make a difference. This will add 1 dryad essence point. So right now we've got 1 wisp, 1 dryad. Then we're going to add 2 sulfurs. Sulfur has the... So that's all the levels that we need to raise in order to get the good cards that we want to show up. So now we'll just be adding items that create mystic cards that we want. We don't need to worry about the essence levels anymore. And the first thing is going to be a needle. This is required in order to allow us to get 2 Yggdrasil cards later on. Normally you can only have 1 Yggdrasil, but if you do a needle first, it'll create the Bed of Thorns card, which allows you to have 2 Yggdrasils, which we want. And then we should see the Bed of Thorns moving in here. And then I've just put in the first spiny seed that'll create a Yggdrasil card once it moves in. Then we will do a Poison Fang, which is extremely important. And that is going to create one of the Evil God cards, which is going to allow us to raise our stats on the item all the way to plus 20. This should also then push in the first Yggdrasil. Yep, there it is. Then we'll add another spiny seed. So we do spiny seed, poison fang, spiny seed. Just going to highlight that because it's an extremely important configuration. This will then push in the Evil God from the Poison Fang, which in this case is the Beast-Headed God. And then we will just add the next item, which is the Aroma Oil. This is going to create a mystic card that's going to push in the last Yggdrasil. And it also just happens to work out that this aroma oil is also going to create a special effect for the shield. Once the aroma oil card gets pushed on, it'll create a special effect, so we want this to be coming in later on. So right now on the item we have the Spiny Seed, Poison Fang Spiny Seed set up. I'm just going to jump out so we can view the Mystic cards. So you can see here in this configuration, yep, we have the Yggdrasil, the Beast-Headed God, which is one of the evil gods, and then another Yggdrasil. And you can see right now our stats are, I've got plus 20 in one of them, this HP, and then plus 2 everywhere else, and there's also a 5 up there. So you'll see, well, now that we have the Yggdrasil, Beast-Headed God Yggdrasil, by simply adding meat, or really any item that doesn't add a card, it's going to gradually increase all of our stats up to plus 20. And then we'll actually be able to keep those stats as long as we maintain one of the Yggdrasils and one of the evil gods on the item. If those were to ever be pushed off, we would lose the stats. Let's see, where do we have meat? So now we're just going to add 9 meats. That's how many it takes to get to plus 20 stats. And this is the reason this is a very efficient recipe is that meat is an extremely common item, basically, worthless, very easy to get. So the fact that we have to use 9 is really no cost. That was the first set of 3. And the other nice thing is that if you mess up, and if you add the wrong amount, as long as you don't do anything else, you can just keep adding meat and it'll be fine. Like if you only add 8, if you check the stats, they're not good, you can just add the 9th one. As long as you didn't do the last piece, the last aroma oil yet. Or if you add too many meat, then there's no negative effect at all. So all these materials are quite easy to get. Obviously, the seeds are very ubiquitous. The sun crystals, sulfur, and the aroma oils can be purchased at the material shops. So the only things you really need to get that are harder drops are the needle. Well, potentially harder, they're fairly common, but needle, poison fang, spiny seed, and then the meat, but that shouldn't be a problem. I'm just going to do a double check that we have the correct number of meats here. Yep, and you can see plus 20 to all stats. And now we will just add one last item, which is going to be another aroma oil. the aroma oil has a particular property where, besides the mystic card that it creates, it actually also provides a defense bonus to any materials that are created out of skins or hides. So it has a particular effect on the dragon skin. So you'll see right now the defenses are at 18 total. We add the next blast of aroma oil. This will create a mystic card, push the previous aroma oil on, so that now our active cards will be these three: the Evil God, the Yggdrasil, that creates the plus 20 stats, and then we got the Wisdom Goddess from the previous aroma oil. And then you can see that our defense have gone up to a total of 27. If we were to add any other item, it would wipe off the defensive bonuses from the aroma oil. It must be the last item. And now we're done. I can show you the result here. So you can see we have the plus 20 to all stats, and then we have the Wisdom Goddess as the active mystic power that was most recently added. That's going to create a special effect that makes it so you're immune to the stare effect, which I believe that is the one that can petrify or do like a stun. I think that's the one that the eyeballs use. I'm not positive, but it's a beneficial effect. And you actually need that to counteract the negative side effect from the needle that we added earlier. Alright, and yeah, thanks for watching. So this would be a nice piece that we can use and then carry on into an endgame setup if we want to keep something with all stats and that stare immunity.